man. This is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh!
Again, why does it feel so hard to breathe? Why does it feel so hard to breathe? So hard to breathe. Never found, but these voices bring me to my knees. Again, why do you waste your light on me?
Hello and welcome, Rocket League fans. We are here. We are live. Little NECC action coming hot at ya. I'm FBI Tugboat, and I have good news, folks. NECC, they came to their senses. We got Mr. Bepic back for the second time of many. Mr. Bepic, how the hell are you?
Doing fantastic. Excited to be back for some NECC Nationals action, especially with a matchup that has as much precedent as this one does. A couple of Game 7s in the past between the two teams we're about to watch in D2 Nationals, so I can't be better.
Yes. Well, we have a double dose here. Not the standard, 3 barrels coming at you as far as Rocket League action. Obviously, we're towards the end of the season here with big land stuff next weekend, right? Very, very exciting for that down in San Antonio, Texas. That'll be D1 teams, of course. We are looking at a D2 matchup between the Southeastern. Yes, as the Savage Storm, the number 1 seed, taking on Indiana Tech Premier. We'll talk about that one in a second. Bradley Red, number 16th seed. Cinderella story, perhaps, going up against number 4 seed Tarleton State in that D5 matchup a little bit later. But that D5 matchup, let's talk about that one a little bit later. Here, let's get to the meat of it. D2 coming hot at you in just a second, Mr. Bepic. Talk to me about it.
It is winter bracket finals. Winner of this best of 7 gets a spot in Grands and 2 lives there. And so we got Indiana Tech and Southeastern Oklahoma State, and these two have played twice, once in groups, once in the lower bracket finals of the Western playoffs in D2, and both times went to Game 7, but Southeastern got the W in both of those Game 7s. Those are 2 of Indiana Tech's just 3 losses on the season. And mind you, the third loss also in Game 7. So Indiana Tech can't stay away from that 7th game of the series lately, but right now they're still on a bit of a hot streak, 10-3 overall, and outside of Northern Arizona and this same Southeastern team, they're looking pretty good.
Yes, they are. Taking a look at Chippy Bluey Miller here for the Indiana Tech squad, number 3 seed, DJ Gabersity and Crimson Chin. As always, want to give a shout-out because we know these players don't get anywhere by themselves. Shout out Puma and Rapid, the coaching staff over here for Southeastern. Bub and Coach Jake over here for Indiana Tech Premier. Want to give a big shout-out to them and what they do to allow these younger esports athletes go forth and prosper. Let's get it started.
Let's as best as it goes right now, and this is kind of a regional rivalry matchup. Indiana Tech, definitely staples of the Great Lakes Regional League, formerly known, I suppose, as Great Lakes. Now, a variety of names, but Southeastern Oklahoma State's perhaps soon to be in the SEL as well. So, little North versus South action, and I am excited to see how Southeastern plays. It's my first time getting to watch them on the pitch, and they've kind of taken the NECC by storm, winning the Western playoffs for the D2 and doing it in pretty triumphant fashion. A bracket resets and then a win in that subsequent series. So this is an electric team.
There you go, and there's the first actual offense, really. Southeastern getting the first real shot on, forcing some hands of the defender. Southeastern offense going to continue right here, but it kind of looks like Indiana Tech definitely have a little bit of a handle on this one. That's a takeaway as Gamersity is tempting the back pass. Bluey almost making it happen. Very fine ways there for an early offense. About a minute into this one, Bepic.
That's the guy to watch out for. Bluey is the star of Indiana Tech. Not to say Chippy and Miller aren't top-notch as well, but Bluey can take over lobbies. So, glad to see he's online here, being set up now by Miller, but is intervened upon by Crimson Chin, and Southeastern are doing well to stop these Indiana Tech attacks before they really even get going. 0-0 in the first 90 seconds. This one's starting off as a stalemate.
Yes, it is. But, as you say, if you ever having issues, there's our beloved sound. There's another one. Double crossbar pings right here, as if they're trying to let you know where the enemy is at.
Playing the pipes early on in this one. Indiana Tech missed a couple of good looks, but Southeastern Oklahoma State doing well defensively, even outside of the inaccuracies on the Indiana Tech side. It's good clears out to either corner, keeping the ball out of danger, and Southeastern Oklahoma State, they can keep that up, keep Indiana Tech's offense in check. They will have a much easier time coming out on top of this series, but they will need to kickstart some offense of their own pretty soon here.
Yes, they will. There haven't really been many infield, towards the middle of this pitch passes, right? Nothing really dumped right in the middle of these nets quite so far. Both of these teams opting for much more passive offenses that have just resulted in a lot of stagnant opportunities. Well, that's a shot right there across the bow for Chip. Letting them know, hey, it might be halftime, but these are still going to be coming hot at you.
And I think the ball being played mostly in the corners and on the sidelines. It's credit to the defenses. They're putting it in pretty good spots. And I think in game one, both sides are keen to play some dump and chase Rocket League, just see if they can follow up good enough to maybe find some freebies, as Indiana Tech almost had a moment ago. But Southeastern Oklahoma State do find their way out of defense, and even that falls flat. Nice interception there by Bluey, and it results in clear.
Yes, that's going to be a little physical play as well. Bluey getting the touch on, immediately getting sent back to the other side of this pitch. Bluey coming back with a vengeance, picking up some big boosts along the way and trying to make a play. Gamersity was staring down the barrel of an open net right there, and it's a double demo, right there. DJ, the last alive. Okay, if they get that one, though, there's got to be a little bit of that mental factor, right? Like, you can take down my teammates, and that still doesn't matter. Crimson Chin not done.
Great read by Miller right there. As Crimson Chin did a lot to break through potentially the entire defense of Indiana Tech with just a solo play. And that's where some of this threatening offense comes from. A little bit of mechanical wisdom flashed early on in this series, but a miss on the backboard of Indiana Tech has put them in a rough spot. DJ cuts on that ball and will not find purchase on the shot. Now it's a 2v1 going the other way. Bluey runs ahead, but connects with nobody, and Crimson Chin finds a stop.
And they say the fullback position is dead. Trying to block for your ball handler. I absolutely love it. A deadlocked 0-0. Decent angle and a little bit of an assist right there from Miller, but there's not a third player there for Indiana Tech, and ball will lay stagnant.
That was a very ambitious touch from Bluey on that Southeastern Oklahoma State goal line. And here, ambitious to try and think you can stop Gamersity. 1-0 Southeastern.
Fantastic stuff. And yes, this was put up by DJ all day long, but it's really just the foresight from Gamersity to try and go for the second touch. It's always what it's going to be about. And given that this took 4 minutes and 13 seconds to get down here, Mr. Bepic, I think we may have just witnessed the last score of this game number one.
I don't know. I've seen Indiana Tech score a lot more with a lot less time on the clock. I'm not counting them out just yet, but Southeastern have played a great game defensively, and now it's DJ's turn to show off some of their skills off the ceiling, though Indiana Tech find a stop and can break out as another miss develops on the field. The Bluey coughs the ball up, still gets back for a couple of 50-50s, and the Warriors of IIC are fighting hard to develop any kind of chances in the late goings of this regulation period, and they need one sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and maybe now fighting against the clock, really. DJ tries for a pinch against the ground, not going to happen. We're in last bounce territory in just a couple of seconds. Shot over, easy block from the Crimson Chin. Now a little bit of volleyball, not going to happen. 1-0 win right here for Southeastern squad.
That's about as close as I think this entire series is going to be, though. A one-goal game, both sides taking equal amounts of shots here. That was an even start between Southeastern and Indiana Tech here. I'm excited to see how this best-of-7 develops because SC got the best of IIT right there, but it was extremely close. We were playing very thin margins, and I don't think either side really played their best game of Rocket League. There were a lot of misses and awkward touches in defense where you didn't get all of the ball, trying to put it where it's going. So going forward, I mean, I'm looking to game 2 now to see how Indiana Tech responds to this.
Exactly, and like this is the exact way that you'd expect a game one like this to go, right? Two pensive teams have faced each other before every single time, going on down to the seventh game of a best-of-7 series, as Mr. Biffick was mentioning. And even when you look at the numbers of these shots attempted, there really wasn't that much of a difference. DJ having 3 on there, 2 from Crimson Chin, 1 from Gamersity, a total of 6 from the other side, distributed about as evenly as you could actually go there. The big difference here was the defense. Yes, Indiana Tech came through with a whole lot of saves, which tells me, of course, that Southeastern's shot attempts were way more valuable, right? They're forcing the hands of the defense so much more often in situations where ball definitely would have hit the other side of the net otherwise.
So, going into game 2, we'll see what happens here. And I'm curious if Southeastern can keep this IIT offense in check like they did in game 1, where there were some decent looks for Indiana Tech, but better reads on the Southeastern goal line. So, that's where my eyes are, I think, at least at the start, on that blue goal line and in the box, because already we've got Shippy scoring the opener. Wow. It just took 6 seconds, and IIT's on the board.
Fantastic stuff. This is, of course, set up by Bluey. A fantastic pass right across the middle. I was talking about it in the last game. It might feel a little bit of vindicated now. Very beginning of game number 2. The scoring drought here for Indiana Tech Premier does finish after about 5 minutes and 6 seconds.
bit of revenge, honestly, right there, because Gamersity found the lone goal of Game 1 off the back of a dunk. It was Bluey on the backboard in Game 1 that ended up conceding after he let the ball get away from him. And right there, it's the same deal, a dunk out in front that gives Indiana Tech the opener here in this second game. But Gamersity could get the last laugh. Only 15 boost in hand. Is going for a ground pinch that elicits 2 defenders out of the Indiana Tech net. Bit of precarious defense, but no harm is really done as Bluey clears.
Yeah, on the backboard of that, DJ might have wanted to consider keeping that a little bit closer to the ground, not bouncing this one way high, because you got 2 players out of position. You got 2 of them out of quickly, nicely done. It's never the first effort. DJ gonna tie this one back on up with Southeastern.
Another dunk.
Indiana Tech, excuse me.
Another dunk. DJ takes that away from Bluey, and Bluey can't catch a break in that orange box. That's a wonderful read by the front player of Southeastern, as DJ is the one sending that ball in this time around, and this is more like it. The offenses are really just trusting their individual ability to read where the ball's going off their opponent's goal line, and it's resulted in 3 for 3 on dunk goals.
Yeah, some fantastic play right in front of the box. A bouncing ball. Wow, who would have guessed it? Gamersity gets there first here. That was Gamersity in game number 1, the only goal in that game number 1. Now it's going to be Gamersity getting on the board yet again. This was just a fantastic pass. Like, this doesn't really happen without Crimson Chin, but it takes a lot of aim to get that one going with such speed.
I know, because you've got the ball in your corner, and you probably see the seam developing between the 2 players rotating out and the first man of Indiana Tech right there. I suppose third man, if you're looking at their defensive posturing. But that gap creates itself, but you can't do that yourself. That pass has to be perfect, and it was. Crimson Chin dimed up Gamersity, who's now again dunking an Indiana Tech defender, and Crimson Chin cleans up. That's some bonus Rocket League right there. You get rewarded for your previous pass.
Wow, look at that. No red cape necessary for this one. Crimson Chin, 100% goal participation. Crimson Chin, Gamersity, DJ all with 1, and Crimson Chin with 2 assists. Fantastic performance so far.
I love that Crimson Chin as well has a pretty much full red player banner right there. Has the Lightning McQueen actual banner, and then the profile picture's black and red as well. Truly sticking to the theming of Crimson Chin. I have a lot of respect for that.
Got to keep it on theme. Style never dies, Mr. Bepic. Never forget that.
I shan't. Not with Crimson Chin looking as effective as they are in offense. We'll probably see a lot of that banner today, but Indiana Tech could use a way back here in Game 2 now. We were talking pregame. I was asking if they were going to go Game 7 again for content, but Blue was saying that he wanted a 4-game win, and while that's gone out the window, thanks to how Southeastern has already started this series, Indiana Tech may be seeing a Game 4 loss if Southeastern can keep rolling like this.
Yeah, it's the way that Southeastern has been able to string these plays together. They have been playing their own game in Indiana Tech. Yes, they had some solid scoring opportunities in game number 1, Mr. Bepic, but there was never a time that you felt like consistently that they had a handle onto that game. And then once they go down, it happens late, and they only have, 42, 43 seconds with which to come back from a great defense that held strong up to that point. So kind of the situation they found themselves in, and then now back-to-back goals previously. Down 2. Now, there is plenty of time here, so I'm not doomsaying too much.
And they've got an explosive enough offense where a 2-goal deficit is certainly not a death sentence, but we've yet to see a lot of that explosiveness for Indiana Tech. But there you go. There's some of it. Gamersity finds a big save off that blue post, and Southeastern dodge a bullet.
Wow. Gamersity has read the book right there. Fantastic stuff. Saw that unfolding before their eyes, right? The math floating in midair. Fantastic defense right there, man.
A brilliant save that results now in an opportunity to balloon this lead to 3, especially with Indiana Tech playing as awkwardly as they are on their own goal line. But it's kind of another bullet dodged by the defense. A close shave for IIT, but they somehow don't concede a 4th right there. And there is life left in these final 90 seconds, but Indiana Tech need more than just the 4 shots they've put on the board in the bulk of this second game.
That's entirely fair. That's entirely fair. I mean, 4-6 isn't like a huge differential, but obviously we see the efficiency with which Southeastern has turned those 6 attempts into 3 goals. Now a little bit of play across the middle. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Nicely done, Bluey. Taken to the skies. It doesn't have to be fast. It just has to be accurate to be deadly.
So clean. Chippy gets that right back to Bluey, and Bluey does the rest. A little give and go action that confuses the Southeastern defense. That's brilliant offense. And again, more of that explosiveness, a chance out of nowhere that is converted into a second goal for Indiana Tech, but they still need the equalizer in the final minute. And Southeastern, for the most part of this game, have played phenomenally on their back line.
They really have. They really have. Difference maker, perhaps, as we reach the last 60 seconds here, Mr. Bepic. One score differential. This just got a lot easier for Indiana Tech.
Still need more possession so far. Play with the bulk of it, 55 to 45, the field domination stats of this game. So we've spent over half of the time on the clock in that Southeastern end, but they've done well to stop a good number of these chances. The Indiana Tech seem a bit reinvigorated by cutting this lead down to 1. University and Crimson Chin, though, combining for a team pinch clear out of defense, which will give space to Miller, but also time for the next couple of players to challenge, though Miller outdoes 2 Southeastern players, and Blue's going off the ceiling, trying to double this off the back border, set up Chippy or both, and neither one pans out. Crimson Chin gets a stop, and Indiana Tech see their opportunities dwindling. They'll need a 0-second goal, and Southeastern's not willing to give it up. Bluey, a dump off to Miller, actually sees an opportunity to score, and Miller hits his shot. We're tied at the end of game 2.
Nicely done. We are going to overtime in this game number 2. The thing that kind of surprises me is Southeastern could have very easily watched this unfold right here, Bepic. This was going over the past 15 seconds or so. They know they have to keep this ball aloft, and they know that that's going to be so much easier to actually get a true shot once that angle is towards the middle. Okay, so methodical clear right here, and it's going back the other way. Down low, Southeastern. Oh, no. Didn't really get the jump off the wall that they really, really needed, Mr. Bepic.
And that's such a Rocket League moment right there. You score a super hype goal on 0 seconds to close a multi-goal deficit. And then 10 seconds in, your opponent grabs the ball and scores the overtime winner. Southeastern were unfazed by Indiana Tech's comeback there late in regulation, and they will nab a 2-0 series lead.
Yeah, so taking a look at the numbers, they obviously left quickly right there. We've been changing servers. There wasn't like a widely statistically significant difference there, Mr. Bepic. This was 2 teams that played real well in 2 different halves of this game, honestly. That was all Southeastern in the first half right here. And Indiana Tech Premier just really, really turned it on. You said it best, a multi-goal differential overcame. Even at 0-0-0, it's all about getting that overtime situation. But it has not been a Rocket League team in a while that has looked as confident as Southeastern just did in that overtime situation.
And they were outshot as well by Indiana Tech that game. It was 10-8 total off the back of that late last 90-second push from the Warriors, which was really impressive. But I think I'm more impressed by Southeastern's resolve, losing that multi-goal lead, getting scored on 0 seconds after playing some pretty timid defense on your goal line, allowing that space in the air. But they don't blink. They get right back up on the horse and score the winner just 10 seconds into overtime. And that's how you win a championship, by bracket resetting Northern Arizona and then beating them again in the subsequent series. Southeastern, they're just grinders, apparently. They know how to win tight games, and they don't blink when they lose.
Exactly. And it's always, we always talk about this as the competition that goes on between those years, Mr. Bepic. Now I'll tell you about something that can help you with that competition between the years, and that is Wenzel's Farms. Fuel your game with Wenzel's Farms snack sticks. That is no mess, no distractions, just bold, protein-packed flavor to keep you locked in. Whether you're grinding ranked or leading the squad, Wenzel's keeps you powered up. Grab a stick, stay in the game, and then crush the competition. Folks, you saw a lot of that Wenzel's Farms marketing as well. It is nothing if not effective, and just really, really fun, honestly. Just very, very fun all the way through Wenzel's Farms. Now, other thing, right above Mr. Bepic's beautiful head right there, you can see, use that code NECC20 on your next order of G Fuel to get a certain percentage off. The code is NECC20. I'll let you guys guess just how much percentage-wise you get off by using that code. Big shout out to G Fuel, Wenzel's Farms, and I want to give another shout out to one of the individuals that makes competition just like this one possible in the broadcast there, and that is of course Chippy, not the player. Big shout out to them, but I'm talking about the producer, the lady behind the scenes, making our jobs as casters that much easier. We're very, very much appreciative of her, Mr. Bepic.
We certainly are. And I mean, to kind of add to the Wenzel's Farm ad read, I know it's like an ad read, we're supposed to read it, but I can personally vouch for their product, because when I was a coach at Huntington College, that got me through a lot of broadcasts. Actually, they sponsored the program and sent us some meat sticks, and that did get me through some long nights of coaching and then watching our R6 team play their NECC matches. So I will go off script and vouch for Wenzel's Farms there, but that's just in time for us to get into game 3 at Tugboat. 0-0. We've switched from central servers to east servers. We'll see if that helps IIT at all.
Yeah, and thank goodness for the central servers, right? It was so brutal. Basically, if you don't live on a coast, it's like coast supremacy all over again, right? You see it on the internet, you see it on Rocket League perhaps, but no, central servers now absolutely love it. And so these individual teams have their selection of such inside as Gamersity does it again on not the first touch.
I mean, the switching of the servers doesn't seem to have changed much. Gamersity again is dunking an Indiana Tech defender on that orange goal line. I've lost track of exactly how many goals in this series have been dunks on Indiana Tech's goal line. It's getting to the point where it's a little bit absurd. It was kind of a bit at the start when it just kept happening the first couple of games, but now that it's continuing beyond that, it's kind of crazy just how many goals like that we've seen. But I think Southeastern's showing us as well they can score other goals.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, they can. And it's, again, kind of that mental factor, right? I mean, it's called a dunk, came from basketball for a reason. It is disrespectful, right? Not really. I mean, what it is it is putting some serious skill on display at the end of the day, right? Now this one a little bit wide to the left, trying to get involved right there is DJ. Not going to happen. This one is mega cleared off to the side. Crimson Chin pick this one up, bounce against the ground as Bluey try to stop this one in its path and maybe trying to get it done themselves all the way inside, and does. Slotted bottom right. What a perfect angle from Bluey.
And this starts with a beautiful read off the sidewall as well. He predicted exactly where the ball was going out of the southeastern corner, and then his individual brilliance does the rest. That finish is immaculate, but it never happened if he's not off the sidewall and pickpocketing what's more than likely, in maybe 8 out of 10 cases, a southeastern counterattack if they're playing any less of a team.
Yeah, and like just how fast that comes in, then comes back out. Nice pinch against the ceiling. Gamersity putting on a clinic. Oh no! This ball is traveling so fast. It kind of looks like on the other side, like it's really, really hard to even tell if this is gonna bounce too high. Oh man, that was coming back out. That feels bad, man.
It is, but that ceiling pinch is crazy. I don't know what these two teams ate before this series, but they are pulling out all the stops to score insane individual goals. We haven't seen a ton of passing plays connect for scores outside of maybe that electrifying 0-second goal that Indiana Tech got, as it's been majority either dunks, Bluey popping off, or right there, Gamersity with a huge ceiling pinch, and that's the center ball, but the defenses, I think, are just reading the center balls nicely and can't read the individuals.
Yeah. 4th goal there for Gamersity as well.
Huh.
And wow, mail this one with extra postage next time, Bluey. That's their second shot for second goal. Miller just pops this one way, way up, and Bluey makes it sing with no boost left in the tank.
A great speed from Bluey right there, as DJ took a poor angle. I think just missed right where that ball was going to be, and Bluey took full advantage. That's well done, punishing mistakes like that. An important game 3. I mean, Southeastern, they're 2-0 up in this series, but these games have been so close, and yet we all know what happens if you go up 3-0 in a best-of-7. You've essentially clinched that in Rocket League. And so for Indiana Tech, this is a must-win game, and I think I would probably maybe believe in a reverse sweep bid, but it's just so hard to rattle off 4 in a row like that. So the Warriors need this one, especially when you consider how good Southeastern does look.
Yeah, tied right now, but I have to agree with you. 3-0 in the series, even after the server change right here. You can call that the equivalent like home field advantage or something, but gonna be brutal if they have to go 4 in a row themselves. But we saw the ease with which Indiana Tech Premier was able to go forth and overcome a multi-score lead. Now, they did give it up in overtime immediately afterwards, but they've done it before, and they can do it again. 2 minutes to go right here. Might as well be 0-0.
Crimson Chin still ever present in defense. Tries to clear through the center of the pitch, but Chippy's in the way of that clearance lane, and now sticking around a little bit as Miller flies past the ball, and Chippy will run ahead, looking to maybe cause some havoc at the midfield line. Does end up colliding with DJ right there, and Crimson Chin zones him off the play. Chippy's off-ball movement is helping Indiana Tech put themselves in better spots to grab some offense. Southeastern aren't letting them get any offense. In fact, the next half chance really comes off the back of a Southeastern shot that does go wide, and well, just kind of reset. Nothing really happened outside of a big jostle for possession. The Crimson Chin gets a 1v1 and beats the last man of Indiana Tech. 3-2 Southeastern.
Wow, Crimson Chin has not been relegated by any means because it's an even-handed duties, but 3 saves so far has had their performance here in Game 3 on the other side of this pitch. Then put it in the numbers, man. There's 2 players on the other side, and neither of them read that one perfectly. 90 seconds to go right here. Southeastern wrestles back another 1-score lead. Crimson Chin, another attempt against the backboard right here, but now it's played. Enough boost to possibly work with this, and it's a weak clear to the right side.
Blue collects off the backboard of Indiana Tech, but is taken out by Crimson Chin, and the ball taken away from him by Gamersity. DJ at the midfield line collects in 50-50s, but Indiana Tech grab possession and a shot, though Crimson Chin again will add to their ever-growing save tally. That's 4 now in Game 3, and it leads immediately to an opportunity on the other end of the pitch, and Crimson Chin can just walk that in. A little deke there outside the orange box gets him enough space to close.
Wow, so Crimson Chin really making this Game 3 their own. 606 points, 4 saves, 2 shots for 2 goals. 100% accuracy there. Gamersity coming with 2 of their own. I feel like this has been more of a game playing when it comes to Crimson Chin, and Gamersity's 2 goals so far have really just been off the back of some fantastic individual skill on display.
Absolutely. Crimson Chin's ability to read the game in defense has been on point. Gamersity flipped teams there for a second and will, I guess, donate a goal for Indiana Tech here.
Brutal. Maybe not knowing that DJ was right there. DJ obviously having a much better angle on that one. But hey, it's going to happen. We're back to a 1-score differential in Indiana Tech premiere. There's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel of this Game 3 because, I mean, me and Mr. Beffick were talking about a 3-0 down in the best of 7 series. It is tough to come back.
Well, if Indiana Tech does come back in this game, that's the goal we look at. It's a pretty big lapse for Southeastern, and now DJ's just missed as well on the backboard. Starting to fall apart a little bit. You think back to Game 2, where Indiana Tech had themselves a pretty good comeback after Southeastern were forced to play off their back line a good bit late in regulation, but right now, the Savage Storms will be doing okay. Still have a goal in hand, and will clear their defensive zone. 5 seconds left. Miller's just missed the ball, but still is in the area for a pass downfield and has Bluey to help, but he ends up just grounding it, and that's really a non-starter of a 0-second play for Indiana Tech, and Southeastern win yet another 1-goal affair.
It's been 1-score differentials all the way through, and once again, there's not a magnificent difference in shot totals, right? 7 from Southeastern, 6 from Indiana Tech. The difference comes in quality, not the quantity. 4 saves there for Southeastern, only 2 on the side of Indiana Tech. And again, the big story here in Game number 3 has to be the Crimson Chin, right? Offensively getting it done, 2 goals, 2 shots, 4 saves total. Insane stuff right there. Insane stuff.
Crimson Chin had a game there. I mean, that was a big-time performance on both sides of the ball. Even having the wherewithal, and the 3rd or 4th goal, I've already forgotten, they scored so much in that game, where DJ passes at center, and then Crimson Chin doesn't take the one-timer. Instead, they cut it back, knowing that Bluey is the lone defender, and that they've got time to cut that back. And once Bluey's diving across the net, expecting the one-timer, Crimson Chin can just walk that ball, and it was an easy finish, thanks to the big brain play outside that orange box. And Southeastern has had a lot of big brain plays in this series thus far, and it shows a 3-0 series lead. They are 1 game win away from a grand finals appearance in D2 Nationals.
Yes. Now that'll be Waynesburg, I believe, that they'll be playing against, which is no spring chickens by any means, right? So winner of this gets something. They may not be that much of a present, but you got to get there first, and a shot at the title is really the biggest thing that any of these teams going through the playoffs are going to be looking at.
Waynesburg's in D5, so you're thinking of our matchup later on. They will play whoever emerges from a stacked lower bracket of D2 Nationals, featuring the likes of Daytona State, of GCU, Florida, big-time names in the Collegiate Rocket League scene. But they still do have to close this series out, as Indiana Tech look flustered, but they're not done with their upper bracket lives just yet, though Southeastern have gotten the better of them for the better part of the series.
Now, this has frequently been Southeastern getting first score as well. I'd love to see some really, really hard and fast-paced aggression from Indiana Tech Premier to put that first one on the board and put the onus onto Southeastern. Don't think about the fact that you got to do 4 in a row. Play the next 4 minutes of Rocket League that is in front of you.
Nice center ball there, but the shot's a bit weak, and Miller was playing that fast and loose, aggressive style, hunting for heads there on the blue goal line. Doesn't connect with any. Now Bluey's looking to show off some of his brilliance out in front, but is once again stopped by Crimson Chin, a defensive demon at Southeastern Oklahoma State have themselves on their back line. Jeppy will try his hand again, as Bluey upfield with him, but the first man shuts him down. DJ gets that initial stop, and we'll back off.
Off to the corner, and it seems like the Southeastern defense has held strong for a while and definitely has after the second touch on this one. Cleared back the other way as Miller sends it skywards. Bluey down low, and I got to say, Indiana Tech has been doing a much better job of just playing these angles, right? Finding the holes, the gaps, the spacing here in the rotations of Southeastern.
Sure they would love a fast start here. Still nothing to show for their offensive efforts, but soon that shall change. Bluey leaks that ball out center to Chippy, and Chippy knows what to do with it. 1-0.
Yeah, this kind of comes off of Crimson Chin, sort of like helping with that angle, and unfortunately DJ can't do anything but kind of assist that angle there on the backside. But a lead, this is exactly what we were talking about, Mr. Bepic. Exactly what you were screaming about all for 2 minutes the first beginning of this game, right? No. 2 minutes of this one, and Indiana Tech Premier finally gets that first goal, right?
It's good. It's a good start for them, and I haven't had many leads in this series, now that I really think about it, and this one even won't last very long. Crimson Chin just can't keep his name out of our mouths. This is an absurd finish.
Man, oh man. Yeah, Miller comes in at this one like kind of upside down and less so like that 180-degree wall, right? But, man, I kind of feel bad. I had to say something, right? Indiana Tech Premier back to the neutral situation, though, so not as bad as it definitely could be. Bluey down bottom. No boost really to be spoken of, and it's going to be an easy pickup here by the Crimson Chin, sent back the other way.
It's an awkward spot for Chippy, who does have Miller in tow. And Southeastern will break out for the moment, but a musty flick could flip the field back in favor of IIT. A couple of no-boost players will hustle into that blue corner, and Chippy will keep Crimson Chin low on boost and dead for the next couple of seconds. But he does rejoin the fray as Gamercity clears the ball downfield, puts it center. No, does actually just keep the ball in the corner. Crimson Chin won't get a bite at that apple. So Southeastern are playing the long game right now, just setting up possession nicely, seeing what kind of space they can gain as Indiana Tech have to play off the back foot a little bit and then quickly move forward into another opportunity, a couple of opportunities that do end up with a score.
Yeah, Miller just gets set up perfectly on this one, Chip. I believe that was actually like in a shot attempt on the first, and then the second is just a perfect right against the backboard here. Rebound is coming right to your chest, right to the numbers right there. Back to a one-score lead here for Indiana Tech Premier at a time when they need it. Oh, brutal, bro. Oh, my goodness. I'm just calling the game, I promise. I'm not cursing anything.
They have been Rocket League a couple of times now in this series. The 10 seconds of overtime after scoring that 0-second goal in Game 2 that end with Southeastern winning the game. And now 2 leads that Indiana Tech has fought so hard for, just quickly negated by fast scores out of the Savage Storm. And here could be a third, but back quickly there is Crimson Chin in defense, making another great read.
A great read from DJ specifically right there. Seeing this ball come in, reading the trajectory perfectly up to the corner. And it's just a little bit too far. The Bluey player there just a little bit cheated up. Just tiny bit too far. Better angle there, maybe a different scenario.
Miller should win this ball. We get space on the backboard, but can't follow it up himself. Bluey sticks around low on boost, and in the attack, they're committing a lot of resources into offense right now, trying to create any gaps they can exploit on the Southeastern back line, but Savage Storm aren't giving them anything. And now Crimson Chin has a ton of boost in offense and will set up Gamercity and DJ well, but those two collide, and so they concede possession. Back to Miller, who's got a flip reset, but can't do anything with it. The defense once more of Southeastern prevails.
I like this game plan, right? Just completely fill up on boost, take the ball away, and then try and beat him in the air. Miller down bottom! And it no! Oh my goodness! DJ out of nowhere called that just a second too early. Excuse me. Wow. Defensive efforts there from DJ. And this is going to be Southeastern almost walking the dog on the other side. I actually did not see that player across the backboard here, but the offense continues for Southeastern.
Indiana Tech was scrambling back right there as, again, they commit a lot into their offensive half. But once more, they've been caught slightly out of position. Bluey turns around and will fuel up in the corner, but forks over possession. Late in regulation, Southeastern are setting themselves up for a potential finish in offense, though Bluey intercepts that pass play across the orange corner, and we're just fighting over possession here late in regulation. Neither side will get a real quality look unless we see a defensive error. DJ turns on this ball, takes a neutral 50-50 with Bluey, and that ball does drop. We get overtime again.
Love it. Went to overtime in game number 2. Going to overtime now again in game number 4. But it's been early antics from Southeastern as them kept them alive, and part of the way is they employed a 3-0 lead now within the series, Mr. Bepic.
Well, it's a shot from DJ that elicits a double commit from the back line of Indiana Tech, and now an awkward bounce gives DJ a chance to win this series, but it's Gamer City signing off on a 4-0 sweep. These two went to 7 twice before, but Southeastern speed runs the rematch.
I believe that was Chippy trying to come off the back wall right there and read this one as they're coming out with a little bit of actual oomph behind him instead of just actually getting the block, Mr. Bepic. It is a fantastic endeavor, but just doesn't really land right there. And a 4-0 series it was, man. It was multiple overtimes. It was 1-score differences in every single one of them, and it was like just a deluge of scoring in the second half of this series, right? 4-3, 4-3, 3-2 right here, but only a 0-1 in game number 1.
I've got to see the final numbers on the save counter for Crimson Chin, because that was an insane series. And actually, they put up 11 saves. The next closest player is Miller with 5. Everybody else has less than 5 saves across that entire series. Crimson Chin was averaging almost 3 saves per game. That's actually absurd, especially when you consider that he had the second most goals in the series as well. Scored 5 total there. That was an insane performance out of Crimson Chin. Didn't carry the team. That's a disservice to what DJ and Gamercity were doing in that best of 7, but Crimson Chin was an all-star.
Absolutely. Without each of the individual efforts there, DJ, Gamercity, Crimson Chin. Gamercity, we saw them putting their aerial skills on display many, many times, Mr. Bepic, and, well, they put up a whole lot of goals. Well, Southeastern only won by 1 4 times in a row, right? So a series, a best of 7 series that there was much closer in the overall series score in previous years, previous months, previous competitions, has boiled down here to Southeastern just stamping their path the way to the grand finals here in D2. I'm all here for it, Mr. Bepic.
That's going to be frustrating for Indiana Tech as well, because I know that they can play better than that. 4 one-goal games that they end up losing. 2 in overtime. One of those with the 0-second goal to send it to overtime. That's a frustrating loss, and they do get another life in lowers. They'll play one of Florida, GCU, Daytona State, and Carthage. Not a lineup that I'm sure Indiana Tech's excited to have to face one of, but still, a group of teams that I know that they can beat and get that rematch with Southeastern in the grand finals. But now you got to beat them twice in 2 consecutive best of 7s, and that will be no easy task.
No, it won't. Now, they have to keep in mind that they've taken them. If they get all the way down, that's just such a slog ahead, right? Like, there's no point in talking about it now, but just really, Indiana Tech, you will have your work cut out for them, and I think that'll be a fantastic series if they're able to go all the way through there. They definitely have the skills to pay the bills. They don't have the ability to get there, Mr. Bepic, but it is a Herculean task and a rough ask at this point to expect them to get all the way through there. But, hey, that's why we have these competitions, right? D2 for the day will be done. We are taking a look at D5. That is Bradley Red, the 16th seed, taking on number 4 seed Tarleton State. Now, we know on paper what that's supposed to mean, but we've also seen what Bradley Red can do. Mr. Bepic, short break. Do you have anything else for the good people before we do bid them a 16-minute break or so?
Stick around. Nationals never disappoints. I have I've coached through a couple of nationals and casted through a couple of nationals now, and it really doesn't stop providing great top-tier entertainment.
Absolutely. Back with you guys again in about 15 minutes or so. FBI Tugboat, Mr. Bepic.
This is incredible.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No, come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh.
And I can't stop thinking about you, but what you gonna do? And you know I'm feeling good like that. So what you gonna do? And I can't stop thinking about you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
I'm cold steel stainless. My glass half full. Always said don't suffer no fools. Serpents, they dream. I bite, you call me lovely. Got a sweet tooth. Gonna get the sugar from you. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment.
Hey, hello and welcome back, folks. Little Rocket League action, dish number 2 coming at you. FBI Tugboat, Mr. Bepic. Now, we just watched, yes, that was Southeastern take on Indiana Tech Premier. The individual games, all 4 of them, were pretty close. The end result was not, Mr. Bepic.
No, it wasn't a sweep for Southeastern Oklahoma State, but I think that's one of those sweeps that doesn't tell the whole story. Indiana Tech played them really close, and if that's the rematch that we get in Grand Finals of D2 Nationals, we will be in for a treat there. But for D5 Nationals, we're watching right now, not the double elim that D2 gets treated to. This is single elimination for any of the divisions below that D2. And for Bradley and Tarleton State, they'll have to duke it out to see if they can't make it to Grands.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, this number 16th seed, Bradley Red, taking on number 4 seed, Tarleton State. We got AMX, we got Wico, we got Canadian over here for Bradley Red and Tarleton State Purple, consisting of Beast, SG1, Fit Jack, and Turks. Beast, Fit Jack, and Turks over there.
Should be a fun one. I was checking out the ranks before we got into this semifinal, and I was thinking at first, Tarleton State, they're a high GC1, low GC2 average team, so they definitely come in here as the, on paper, better team, but Bradley is on a bit of a tear right now as the 16th seed, 2 consecutive wins in Nationals over Grismaroon, who I don't know, and Lander Academy, who I do know. That Lander squad is pretty solid for Bradley to be 3-0 sweep them. This GC1 average team could have some trick up their sleeve, but let's see what happens as we do get into the action here.
Yes, let's see what happens. It's an early dish right up the middle to Twico. Yes, big shout out. AMX getting this one. Dish right on over to the middle here and early. Yeah, so early scores seem to be the theme of the day here. We saw plenty of these earlier in the D2 matchup.
That's clean. That's clean playmaking to open things up. Hopefully, sign of things to come. Passes connecting like that, and shots looking pristine. And here's the near rebuttal from Tarleton. But a double committed offense will send them packing, and Bradley can try again to score another goal to start themselves off on the right foot. But nothing there, and we are now officially settling into game one.
Absolutely. The pace is now slowed down a little bit after that initial score, trying to find their footing, get back their finger on the pulse of this game number one of a best of 5. That's as well, yes. So no, this is best of 7s there for D1, D2. We'll be looking at a best of 5 here between these two. Is that correct? Oh my goodness, I'm missing scores over here. We'll get that confirmed.
A clean shot though. I mean, while we're figuring out how long the series is going to be, these two are showing us that it'll go the distance regardless. Fitjack nails the back of that blue net right there, and we're all tied up just like that.
Yeah, so 1-1 right here after the initial score is undone. Now we're going to be taking a look to see who can really come forth and take over the rest of the series after that evening factor.
A miss and a bump in net will open up a lane for Lurks, but an off-target shot will deny any kind of entry, so immediately Bradley actually clears the zone. It's a missed opportunity there for Tarleton, but they'll soon get another one, though Wico is back quickly to cut it off, and aims for Beast there on the goal line, too. Now that these sides are pulling punches early on, they know their game plans, they know what they're good at. Not expect that this deep into the spring season, but right now it's leading to a very close first game.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Kind of looked like a little bit happening early off the kickoff here. Well, we haven't had too many kickoffs in the last 90 seconds. As this one's going to go back towards the way. This Bradley squad, a little down low action, finally picking it up is Fitjack right there. Turk from the ceiling tries to keep this momentum going right there, but it's going to be a great job from Bradley taking this over and getting the offensive stance right here.
A miss there, actually sets up AMX. Not sure if it was intentional or not. Wico bailing out of that ball, but I do like the communication either way. AMX being prepared for that, though it doesn't really lead anywhere. Solid defense, well layered on the Tarleton side, and they'll be rewarded for their efforts on their back line with a clear downfield. The Lurks does miss that 100 boost grab in the blue corner, and that allows Canadian to fuel up. We'll see if that really makes a difference, as Canadian does dump the ball off to Wico, turns with boost, and fires a quick shot on target. The Lurks has the read. That's well done.
Yeah, it was. It was Twico making a play on that one early. This one, Canadian, their own attempt. Not going to happen twice in the same game, or at least not going to happen twice in the same game yet. Taking a look at Twico coming back the other way. A solid movement on the ball sends this one back on over. Maybe a little bit of confusion there from Tarleton State as far as who was going to pick this one up, but nonetheless, it is back over here in Bradley Red. Going to maintain a defense for the time being. A little slow roller off to the right side as Canadian tries to start this offense.
At the moment, it feels like both sides playing solid standard rotations in both sides of the field, and so I think it comes down to who makes that first mistake here, or creates space with a demo like that. Either or works, and Lurks goes top left, but Canadian finds the first block, and AMX clears that ball off the Bradley goal line. Tarleton gets opportunity, but can't quite convert on it. This one too high, and they're developing really good chances for themselves, but can't get the shots on target.
And Tarleton State is unlocking that physical game as well, Mr. Bepic. We're looking at a situation where even if they come in and get an initial shot, it's going to try and turn into a demo attempt at the other side either way, as they're going to be then resuming their rotations. Nice little block right here from Beast as they try and get to the right side.
And your side defense holds up. Lurks reads where that Bradley offense is trying to go with the ball, and with plenty of resources in defense, this could be a Tarleton clear. Good speed by Beast, and downfield Fitjack has been found, and the ghost of a third man finds that pass in the infield, but unfortunately it's a ghost. So the defense picks the ball back up, and Bradley will get a clear. A minute left now. Both sides seem inseparable at the moment, and if you can't beat them, demo them. At least that's the thought for Bradley. Doesn't quite pan out.
Yeah, that's the saying ringing through the minds of much of these players, it seems. It was really Tarleton getting that aggressive play going, Beast continuing it right there, but it seems like Bradley Red, the left side here, is going to be able to get that one going here as well. A couple of uncharacteristic misses here early as this ball is centered, going back the other way, and that is saved from AMX. A fantastic effort to get back there and prevent the second one of these of coming on the board.
Oh, Canadian Doesn't get much of that ball in transition, and Beast now can pop that ball center. Causes a bit of an awkward touch out of AMX, but Wico, behind their teammate, gets the job done. Another save off the post of Bradley, and they'll keep us tied with overhead peeking its forehead over the horizon now. And with that ball sailing towards the dirt, it all but confirms it. OT in game 1.
Third overtime of the night across 5 games here if you include our previous series. I am all here for it. 16th seed holding their own. We all know what happens on paper. Take that, put it through a shredder. This is Bradley Red coming out to play. Nice flick, and it's going to land. Fantastic stuff from Tarleton State. Gotta give it to him. Gotta give it to FitJack right there.
You want to talk shredder? Look at FitJack right here. Dismantle the defense of Bradley Red with a musty flick on target. That is gorgeous. And it felt like that was a long time coming. It was very close, that game was, through the first 3.5 minutes. But those final 90 seconds were all Tarleton. 8 shots overall, but those were quality looks they were getting at the end of regulation. And it felt like Bradley had to really dig deep to make a couple of stops late to prevent moving towards a deficit there at the end of regulation. But they can't get it done in overtime. FitJack gets theirs. 2 for 5 there with a couple of saves tossed in there. Pretty stacked stat line.
It really is. It really is. And perhaps another theme that we've seen established is squads that, taking it to overtime, and the team, again, on paper, is supposed to go forth and take down the series, just gets it done relatively quickly in overtime. It happened in previous series, maybe the first little bit of it happening in this one, but again, 16 seed, 14 seed, you expect there to be like a wider score difference in this one than a nail-biter of game number 1. Bradley Red gets there, but you had a fantastic point. This just looked like Tarleton State that looked a lot more dominant. Now, the question that has to arise here, and something I'll be monitoring as the series goes on, is just Tarleton State just play better off of kickoff, because if there's been like multiple neutral situations that somehow arise here in Rocket League, I have to wonder if this hadn't even gone to overtime, because whenever it was kickoff, Tarleton State looked great.
We'll see if that pattern does continue out of game 1, but it's a lengthy set between these two, so we better buckle up and see if Bradley can't make this a long series, as Tarleton have the upper hand for now. But off kickoff, Bradley give themselves a half chance, but FitJack is in the middle of that passing lane.
AMX cuts on back to this one to try and stop a budding danger. Second touch, nicely done. It's FitJack yet again. They did it in a really flashy form, fancy ways earlier in game number 1. Do it again early in game number 2.
Well, that is an emphatic opening goal here in Game 2. Tarleton have come to play, not resting on their laurels after an overtime victory in Game 1. And now from the kickoff, Lurks and Beast together. Power of friendship moment right there. Put a shot on target, but AMX is there for the save. But the secondary opportunity sees no defender find a block. FitJack doubles up.
Yeah, FitJack getting close to putting that cap on here early. 2 out of 3 necessary for that one. 2 shots, 2 goals. Pretty fantastic stuff. Yes, it was dished up to FitJack. Yes, those were hard angles to get.
Tarleton State have themselves a star in FitJack, emerging at that big-time overtime winner, and now is looking for another double-tap goal, but just runs out of boost, and so Bradley get a moment of respite. And a rather chaotic game for them defensively. They don't seem to have a ton of answers in their back half, at least in the first minute of game 2. But there will be time now to take some deep breaths and settle in for what is going to be a long game and a long series.
It is indeed if you're Canadian. Beast gets another demo in here, and it seems like Tarleton State's physical efforts are going to be starting early here in game number 2. Canadian off the corner, no boost to be spoken of. At least fakes it on this one, but that's not going to be a Tarleton State player that bites onto that one. More corner play here as AMX is the last back, but that's a fantastic clear. And even better passed out to FitJack. It was FitJack getting these passes earlier, Mr. Bepic. Now it's him dishing them out.
Canadian steals the ball away here and actually has an opening in transition, but can't quite get that perfect read. Turned the play into a shot on target, so Wico will collect, but Lurks takes the ball away from everybody. Doesn't make good contact off the sidewall, so Bradley are given another opening to get back into offense. And well, Lurks collecting with no boost. Won't be able to clear, so Bradley, keep this offensive going. A couple of decent looks at the moment. We're mostly going corner to corner as Tarleton keep the ball in non-lethal positions, despite a rather noticeable lack of boost for moments, but now they've fueled up and should be able to flip the field.
Hitting it right over this big boost as well, picking it up on the way, like a drive-through here, Mr. Bepik. Beast now all the way back, and to try and get something from a teammate. That is a decent angle until Turk has something to say about it.
We're going for a redirection off the sidewall. And it is collected by AMX, prepared for that possibility. So some respect given to the talented players on the field here. No, Bradley need to earn a little bit more if they want a way back in game 2, as their offense has yet to register a shot, and this could be it, though. Fitjack off the backboard bounce is able to play that ball out of the orange box, but not far enough away. AMX does get that first shot on the board, but it's a rather easy save for the defense, and Beast has an opportunity, but no third goal.
Bang.
It's Fitjack with that honor.
Third shot, third goal, 100% accuracy here for Fitjack. And we have 2 of them assisted as well. I believe it was the kickoff goal, of course, that Fitjack got about 8 seconds into this one that was, of course, unassisted. Fantastic stuff, and Fitjack really just putting this game number 2 on his back, right? All 3 goals coming from him. There's only one other shot attempted from Charlton State and only 1 shot attempted from Bradley Red.
Already 500 points for Fitjack with the hat trick on 3 shots, and Beast looks like he'll add to the scoring spree. Tarleton State have 4, and Beast is no longer just demoing Bradley. He's now scoring on him.
Yeah, kind of really putting that name to good use earlier with the physical play. Now getting involved in the scoring department. Heard me talking about how Fitjack was the only one scoring or even shooting in this game number 2. And said, hey, I want to get on that scoreboard as well.
Has done so well. Fitjack will look to reclaim the spotlight, just taking the ball out to the side, and now we've devolved into a bit of monkey in the middle. But Tweeko does take that ball from the 2 players on either side of him. Looks to go off the ceiling, but that play, as flashy as it started, doesn't pan out. And now Lurtz is doing the dirty work up ahead, cutting back and forth. But AMX makes a nice read defensively to at least give Bradley maybe some life here at the end of this game, though it has gotten out of hand.
Ooh, yeah, that's definitely out of hand at this point. Third shot attempted, throw an assist in there for Beast, and now 2 scores. 5-0, 90 seconds. Folks, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's very unlikely.
Very, very unlikely. It's been tough for Bradley to even get offense on the board this game. They've had 45% field domination, but, I mean, a lot of that possession has been either just long clears that take a second for Tarleton State to send back to the blue half, or they've been stuck in the corners with the Tarleton State near side defense looking really strong at the moment. Not much has broken into that box, but even when it does, there's a player there for the save. It works this time around, and Beast on the near side does end up giving up a potential double tap opportunity to Weko, but nothing given. 5-0, 60 seconds left, and I'm calling game 2 here.
Yeah, we'll give it up to Bradley Red. That's AMX right there. 3 saves at least in a shot attempt here. So 3 shot attempts dispersed as evenly as they can, but you're looking at 8 the other side. Nothing really pretty about that one. Maybe 1 to go here, right? Turn this donut into a breadstick, Mr. Bepik.
We'll see if we get any food on the field. With Bradley still searching for that opener. It'll be nice to put it at the end of the game, but hopefully they're just using this time to kind of talk about what went wrong here and how they can shut down Fitjack, in all honesty. They were precise on the field with their shooting, and that led to a pretty big snowball effect. An early deficit just starts growing larger and larger, and Bradley don't have many opportunities themselves to counteract it. So a couple of holes in the boat to patch here over the course of the next however long they wait before they're ready up.
Holes in the boat? Don't say that to me. It's stuff that nightmares are made out of for an FBI tugboat out here, Mr. Bepik. We're looking at a 5-0 game. The question comes to what exactly changed from game 1 to game 2, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It macro mode, right? From the top down, it just looked like Tarleton had this on point. 10 total shot attempts, 3 shots here coming out from Bradley Red, and even the scoring attempts, yes, Lurks didn't get on the board, got on the board with saves.
And I think Tarleton State just had higher quality touches on the ball as well. They didn't take too much more control of the ball, but it felt like their overall striking found more gaps between Bradley defenders. And in defense, the near side post was locked down on the orange side of the pitch. And you really could say that about the blue end of the field, as Bradley couldn't match that part of the Tarleton State game. And so that allows a sharp shooter like Fit Jack and Beast as well, to a certain degree in that game, to really run rampant and level up their stat sheet, as Fitjack had a big-time hat trick there. And if that keeps up, I mean, Fitjack had 80% goal participation in that game. And if they're allowed to play their game going forward, this could be a quick set.
Yeah, that's just a brutal stat line to try and have to put up with, honestly, man. Taking a look at game number 3, if it's going to turn around, it's going to have to turn around in this game number 3, just based on what we just saw in game 2. No one wants to go down to a 3-0 scoreline in the series, and we already talked about just how difficult it is to come back from that one. Something else, well, we talked macro a little bit. I think micro here, Tarleton State has just gotten way more, like, impactful demos, right? Yes, they're getting their bumps in here and stuff, but there was so much more earlier. Well, that's going to be Beast early yet again. It was 8 seconds before, it's 16 seconds now.
Quality of touches, nothing there for AMX. And when you got Wiko trying to help out on the near side and you just end up colliding together, it looks a bit silly. And that's a nice finish by Beast, putting that ball on target, but it's served up on a silver platter.
Really was. Really was. 20 seconds to go right here. Kickoff goes the way of Tarleton State yet again from on a high, but it's going to be from a backboard play, just flying in there at 100 miles an hour. Not able to make a connection onto that ball, though. At least it looked good, right?
Yeah, appearance always number one here. And Tarleton State's appearing on their near side post to fumble that a little bit. That was really awkward. And so they're losing style points, losing aura, as the kids are saying nowadays, but it's all right. The defense gets the job done.
Taking a look at Lurks back to Fit Jack now. The U described it well. What exactly is, like, where is Tarleton exactly trying to put? There you go. That was the first, like, purposely put ball in a while, and they turn it into something. Fantastic, right? So up until then, I think I was almost a little bit lost for words, because it kind of just seemed like Tarleton State was just playing hit the ball, right? Just hit this ball around and try not to let it go in one of these two nets, right? Finally, a little bit of coordination comes through, a pass play perfectly in, and now Tarleton State retakes that multi-goal lead.
And I mean, defensively, these are still pretty much low GC players, so you're not always going to get the cleanest amount of control that we saw in the D2 winners finals earlier in this broadcast. And so occasionally it does just come down to hitting the ball hard and not playing with a ton of intent, just getting good touches and preventing your opponent from playing with much space given. But then Tarleton State just snap out of it, and the Texans score that nice passing play, and then get back in defense and make a stop like that. And that's the difference at the moment. That's the quality of touches once again surfacing as Tarleton State get a save, and it immediately turns into pressure and nearly a third goal.
Yeah, Beast just a little bit lower on that one, maybe even a little like shorter on the backboard, but hey, a great cut right here. As Tweeko gonna get on the board. That was Tweeko in game number 1. It was Tweeko again here in game number 3, but the scoring drought. 8 minutes, just about 8 minutes right there. Scoring drought for Bradley Red has ceased.
That's good heads up, Rocket League. Well done. They get on the board here in transition offense, which is funny because they've had a good amount of possession in this series, Bradley have, but it's a quick counterattack that ends up scoring them their first goal in quite some time. But still, they need another one if they really want to have a go at winning this series and advancing to the D5 National Championship. And at the moment, Tarleton State are still, I think, in firm control of Game 3 here.
Yeah, just, again, it's kind of just the vibe on the way they have been playing thus far. Fantastic cut right here is Tarleton State was looking like they were going to come out of this one, but there's nobody on the other side, so once we get done praising them, there's nobody really where they need to be, and now walk the dog all the way inside Tweeko, making it look like an leisurely Sunday afternoon.
There we go, boys. Stepping up. Bradley looking on point mechanically as Tweeko steps up and beats the defense themselves. 2s across the board, and that is great news for Bradley, bad news for Tarleton State, to now have lost a multi-goal lead and are maybe scrambling just a little bit. That was an awkward exchange, but Lurks will collect and clear.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Indiana Tech Premier earlier able to come back from multi-goal deficit within the same game, but again, took it to overtime, and it was always the on-paper favorite. Was able to take that one down. Now, 2 minutes out of this one, this game is not yet done by any means, but let's see a little bit more of that. The 16th seed Bradley Red.
Ooh, that's a missed opportunity. Fitjack trying to get around the ball, sacrifices power for contact, and now AMX can clear. And I like this from Bradley, keeping the ball close, where with their clear attempts, even if Tarleton State's prepared for them, they can at the very least force a 50-50 where they've got the majority of the momentum going into the challenge. Though still, Bradley can't cement themselves in offense as Fitjack moves in and protects that midfield line well, but upfield, that's a collision. Lurks and Beast collide with one another, and that ball leaks out center, but Fitjack, out of a 50-50, puts a quick shot near on target, but it doesn't register as it goes off the backboard.
Another Rocket League universe, Mr. Bepic. That would have gone inside and maybe even gone for it to be the decision maker. Now an errant ball back the other way. Amex tries to dive on top of it, but not quite going to get there in time for the defense. 60 seconds to go.
50 out to the side will give Beast a little bit of room now. They can win the race to this ball. Interesting, actually, Wico has good speed getting to that, but still Tarleton State seem in better control of the midfield line as they have 60% field domination throughout this game so far, and Fitjack on the ball, but Beast behind with plenty of boost, fires a shot that does register and forces a miss out of the defense, but the follow-up opportunity goes off the crossbar. Missed chance for Tarleton State, and now Bradley have to escape and see if they can't take advantage.
I get it. The evenly numbered games 1, 3, 5, even 7 at this point, are going to go forth and be nice and evenly matched. Oh my goodness, Beast from the top rope. Easy block right there from Tweeko. And then the evenly numbered games are just going to be absolute one-sided barn burners. But we're 3 seconds away and some volleyball play from overtime. Not able to keep that. Wow, okay, they still make the pass right there. Couple of demos, Tweeko. Nope, it's grounded, and we're overtime for the second time in this series.
Great news for Bradley there, as that was a couple of good looks for Tarleton State at the end of regulation. And off kickoff, Bradley took a quick shot, but Beast is in the area, and we'll clear off that backline catch. Tarleton State moving quickly forward, and there have been awkward moments for Bradley. So for Tarleton State, I mean, just hitting the ball hard towards that blue net can, I think, bear fruit in OT, but they still have to get the job done defensively, and AMX can make misses happen. That was 2 whiffs on the back line of Tarleton State, but still no game winner for Bradley, and a must-win game for their chances at winning this best of 7.
It really, really is. I was the one that was wrong. This is best of 7, of course. Now, this game will not send Bradley out of this competition by any means. A tapper. Oh, no. Nothing but a front row seat to it as Beast just taps it in midair. No boost to be spoken of on the other side, and there's nothing to be done, Mr. Bepic.
Great center pass and shot as well. Beast nailing their mark as Fitjack dumped that pass center and then hunted heads on the goal line. Bumped the next player up for Bradley, and Tarleton State don't need much more of an opening than that. That's a wonderful Game 3 played by really both teams. But for Bradley, that, well, we said it was pretty much a must-win for them. So it's the long road of a best-of-7 reverse sweep back for the Braves, and Tarleton State are in full control.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I want to give a shout-out, right? AMX, 3 saves, most points on their team as well. Defensive efforts, and the defense coming in strong. They say it wins championships. We're going to have to see more of that from Bradley Red. But talk to me a little bit more about your thoughts on this one, and I'll talk about some of the organizations that make this possible afterwards, Mr. Bepic.
I mean, Tarleton State, they came in as the higher-ranked team on paper, and I think it's shown so far. I think Bradley have good life. They've got good ideas in offense, but when it comes to overall consistency, I think in defense especially, Tarleton State have the advantage there, and both sides are striking pretty well, and so when those mistakes happen on the respective goal lines, then Tarleton State, I think, is more equipped equipped to take advantage, but Bradley can change that. Just gotta lock in a little bit, see what kind of go you can have at this reverse sweep.
And speaking of lock in right here, you can use some Winslow's Farm Stick snacks to go forth and do that. No mess, no distractions, just bold protein-packed flavor to keep you, like I said, locked in. Whether you're grinding ranked or leading the squad, Winslow's keeps you covered. Let's get on into this game number 4.
Where we go, potential closeout game. Actually, they're all closeout games for Tarleton State here on out. Bradley have to fight from behind, and so far on their back line, they actually let a center ball slip. AMX lets that ball get too far away, but can now make up for it after there was no concession of an opening goal, and that's a miss for the Tarleton State back line. A close shave for Tarleton State, but it's all good. They find a clear, and it's Bradley once more playing from their goal line.
AMX looking to get involved in the offensive side of this ball here. Well, there's a solid hit and then a demo onto the player that tried to make a play on the ball. AMX coming up with a whole bunch of saves last game. There'll be more than just saves that's going to be necessary to get Bradley Red out of this game, though.
AMX will collect off the backboard and put the ball to the side, but Bradley is looking a bit awkward. The ideas aren't connecting on their goal line, but Lurks does fly past the ball. Maybe a little bit of nerves here for both sides. Tarleton State realizing the opportunity that they have in front of them, and Bradley realizing that from here on out they have to be perfect, and so far they haven't been. Beast will strike first, set up by FitJack.
Yes, it will. They drew first blood. That is Tarleton State for, I believe, for the 4th time in a row as well. They scored first in game number 1, obviously the shutout in game 2. That was FitJack very early for Tarleton State in game number 3. It's going to be Beast here in game number 4. It's a mild deficit, completely able to come back from. And again, don't think about the fact you got to do a couple games after that one if you're Bradley Red. Defensive effort starting now for them. Wico, add the boost and go forth and get something done. It gets demoed. You're going to have to make do with 33.
Nice read. I like that from Canadian. Trying to play fast and loose. Catch out Tarleton State with some speed and counterattack mode, but the play does stall out in that orange corner. FitJack plays the ball clear, but towards Wico, who's shown what they can do individually on the ball in this series so far. But right there, the play does fall flat. Tarleton State's surviving in defense, and now they can thrive. Beast breaks out, and that ball goes off the post, but is put in by AMX, and that's the kind of mistake that can break backs.
2-2-2. That's Mr. Beast here. Or not Mr. Beast. Beast SG, excuse me. That is 2 assists, 2 shots for 2 goals. Not 2 assists, excuse me, 2 saves. Can't talk today here, Mr. Beppick. Sorry about that. 3:11 on the clock, 2-0 in a 3-0 series for Tarleton State. Off the back, Canadian might have been actually glad they did not make connection with that ball. That looked like a bad angle and an own goal potential.
And you're all good, Tug. I mean, we're all about forgiveness in this format. And I mean, the loser of this, for Bradley, if this scoreline holds, they still get to play in the 3rd place match next week. So they're not completely out and done with their NECC season. They can still fight for 3rd in Division 5 Nationals. But the winner of this, and it's looking like Tarleton State at the moment, again, if this scoreline holds, that does advance to play Waynesburg in the Championship of Nationals. What an opportunity that'll be.
It really will be. Well, it will. Those Spring Chickens, Waynesburg. Talked to them about them earlier. Knew what I was talking about. Thought they were in the different game. That was a funny part of the broadcast as well. 2 minutes, 22 seconds here as Twico just kind of puts it over to the teammate. But again, it just kind of looks like aimless offense here for Bradley Red. What I want to see is a well-drawn-up play that involves passes and multiple shots in these goals with a player behind it on the last attempt, right? They can make multiple touches against a ball in the air reliably.
The more control on the ball as well, I think, would help, as Tarleton State are given big windows of opportunity to challenge off their back line, and that's kind of what's allowed them to play defense on easy mode. And so for Bradley, they're hitting the ball hard and they're striking well. They've got good ideas in offense. They don't have the control really to execute on those ideas. Whereas like this, Lurks takes a soft touch off the sidewall and looks strong moving into offense, setting up FitJack now to press into that Bradley corner where everyone's playing a bit scrambly, but a nice pinch out. Sets up AMX for a fake, but no shots. Oh, that was a golden opportunity to get back in game 4.
It's about as good as it gets there for AMX. I think there might have been a situation of just going a little bit too fast, needing to slow down, then not having the boost with which to get back to that. Don't want to break down, look in the micro of that too much, but in a golden opportunity, it was indeed. little bit more than a minute left. Down 2 scores if you're Bradley Red. It all ends here if you don't get 2.
All ends here
Well,
for the
except for the third
semifinal,
place,
at
yes.
least.
Yep.
They get to move on, but I know they don't want that. Everyone has their sights set on the championship, and Beast included. And their sights being set on a third goal here would all but confirm Tarleton State's movement into the championship. And, I mean, they played the spring semester of the NECC in Division 4, so they are well seasoned for this moment, as they were heavily playing up there, and now playing D5 Nationals. They have looked the part of a potential champion, and they're only 30 seconds away from getting their shot at claiming a D5 National Championship. But Bradley, they still have life in them. Canadian Chips a shot on target, and we'll get credit for the goal. We're not done just yet.
Okay, no, we are not. 19 seconds now. Tarleton State has been known for their kickoff plays, but still a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Not fully the last nail in that coffin. Bradley Red, yes, they have to do a lot after this as well, but getting 18 seconds or so to get the tie breakers, fantastic situation they weren't in 10 seconds ago. Fitjack now from the top here, great stop, but Lurks read it very well on the backside, and just keeping on this side of the pitch is as good as a loss for Bradley Red.
Oh, and the center ball does set up a potential finisher. That demo's not going to help, and it is Tarleton State that ends things on their terms. A 4-0 sweep for the Texans sends them to the national championship.
Fantastic stuff. Number 4 seed taking down number 6 seed. A second of 4-0 series of the day, Mr. Bepic. First one might have been a little bit more competitive, but we got multiple 2 different overtime games in this series as well. This one, a literal 1 second difference away from being a 1-score difference as well. So, fantastic job right here. Number 4 seed, Tarleton State, going to be moving on along.
Sometimes the paper is right. Tarleton State, the better team on paper, better seed, better ranks, and they came in and proved the paper right. 4-0 that, you're right, did feature a couple of 1-goal games. Bradley put up a really good fight in that series, but they were a bit outmatched against Tarleton State. I mean, they were getting musty flicked on there at the start of the series, and that tells you a bit about what they had to be prepared for defensively all throughout that best of 7.
Yeah, when somebody puts stuff like that, I mean, obviously all their ranks are available on the website and stuff like that. Once people actually put that on display, though, a little bit of a different story. And again, it's that war between the ears. I want to give a shout out here to G Fuel as well. You can use code right above Mr. Bepic's head there, G Fuel 20. There you go, NECC 20. There for the for a little percentage off, or 20% off your next G Fuel order. A fantastic time, Mr. Bepic. Do you have anything else for the good people before we do bid them adieu?
Like I said, Nationals always delivers the entertainment, and now we get to see some champions crowned next week. I think it's a high time for it. It's land season, it's championship season, and this is where everyone brings their best Rocket League, and the NECC is displaying it all.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now a little Overwatch 2 action tomorrow for some more NECC action, some more postseason, some more playoffs, right? But until then, we will sign off for now. I'm FBI Tugboat, Mr. Bepic. We will catch you on the flip side.
Oh man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No. Come on, just reach. Reach.
Just
Grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh! Mm-hmm.